Hello YouTube! Yup, this is it. We're finally there. Secret of the Atlas, the next POE 1 expansion. Finally! We are back! We're so back! Oh man, I can't wait. Release on June 13th, so in 3 weeks since I'm doing this video. And I wanted to give you a video on leveling so you guys can practice a bit if you were looking to follow my Penance brand, Start League. I will do multiple videos. This one gonna be on the leveling part with a bit of Heist. Next video gonna be on the first Penance swap with a few upgrades you can make during the endgame Atlas progression. And then last video gonna be on different endgame setup you can do with like a fully invest character, Mage Blood and stuff. But on this video today, leveling parts. First of all, you need a leveling filter, right? Because going blind with no leveling filter, that's bad. It's bad. So we do have a leveling filter. It's available on the guide. I have a detailed guide there that will give a link in the description below. And on J profile, there is a link in the guide. You can find the leveling 3.25 filter. You can actually click on follow, so you will have your the filter will show up there, leveling 325 filter. But the filter, to make it work, you do need sound file. So just with you together, we're gonna do how to import, because like many people have issue on importing the sound file. The sound file is available on my Discord. You go in the leveling section. You look at the last message there. Make sure to open zip and place the sound file filter in the folder and filter, right? So we click on there. That is not the thing that I wanted to click. That is this thing that we want to click. It's the filter there that you can follow. So we download this thing. We take it there. You go in the game itself or in your passive exile folder. If you don't know where the folder is, you can go here, item filter. Last tick here is you can open this. So we want to put this sound in this folder here. So you grab this sound thingy, you put it back there, you extract there. There we go. One thing, if you do reload, you look, oh, pick it up, it's not the right path. Yeah, there is a mistake that we need to solve, but if you want to make it work, you just go and pick it up and you copy this thing and you put back into this folder there, and this should works. Right, you do have a good leveling filter there. Leveling filter will highlight good weapon, good colors, good item. I highly recommend you to try one leveling at least with this filter, or more if you want to practice and like perform better on the league start situation. So now we have a good filter. We can go back and select our character. We are going not for the mole, not for the Templar. We're going with a mole ranger. We're going ranger for one reason. We have access to momentum support. That's gonna be really useful for us. And you can check vendor as well. So it's like you can have like one vendor. There is in the guide, the detailed guide over there. There is some rejects you can look for. Those rejects are there, and it says like we're rolling for momentum support, and there is the rejects you can use. So you can look for movement speed boots, 3 blue link, and stuff. And then the flask as well, you can grab the flask and give to your other the Templar character, and you can do a 3-to-1 recipe on your flask if you want so. And whenever you do the mule, we go Templar. There we go, the good old man. And we are doing the fire leveling. We're rolling magma. So we want a Trilink. We're rolling magma, elemental purification, and combustion. It's a bit more detail in the guide over here on what level and stuff. There is also rejects you can look for. So I highly recommend you to look at the guide as well. Doing your leveling, it might be better for you to look at the guide, having on the side, and then do your practice than just looking at the video. But I'm just here to explain what I'm gonna do. And I will give more information as well in the video on reservation, mana, how to resolve mana and stuff. So Link, Boiling Magma, Elemental Purification, Combustion. We use Frost Link with Arcane Surge. Make sure when you grab your Arcane Surge, it's going to be level 2. Make sure to not level up your Arcane Surge, otherwise you will not have your Arcane Surge up as much as possible, because it will cost you 2 Frost Blink or 3 Frost Blink to proc Arcane Surge. So lower the level of Arcane Surge is, it's pretty good, so make sure to not level up your Arcane Surge. We are also grabbing all the Flame Totem and Flame Wall. Those are really good for single target damage. Well, basically, playstyle just gonna be you cast your Frostblink, because Frostblink deal damage. Yeah, people don't know, but you do deal a decent amount of damage with Frostblink. And also, whenever you hit an enemy with Frostblink, you're reducing the cooldown, so you're able, if you do Frostblink properly, you will be able to go really fast during the Act 1. And Rolling Magma, there is one thing you need to know. You don't have to aim at the bosses. If you do aim right before the bosses, let's say boss is there, or it's like it's a tough rare, and you cast your fireball there, it will bounce, and you can hit twice with one skin, so it's kind of cool to do. But you don't have to if you're lazy, it's fine. We are going for an offense setup with Leap Slam and Momentum. On the weapon, we are looking for a weapon like this. We're looking for a one-handed sword that have really high base attack speed, because higher the attack speed is, faster you will go with Lip Slam. So we're looking for, I usually look for a Trilling sword. It's perfect if you find the color 2 green 1 red, because you will need a 2 green 1 red later on. If you don't, if it's Trilling, that's okay. You can use few chromatics on your sword. And other weapons gonna be axe. Later on, I think it's doesn't really, I can't even remember what level it is, but we have access to scepter that have really good attack speed as well, and you can use it. You can use it too, because you are able to use it with Lip Slam. And scepter works with Lip Slam. Lip Slam more with scepter. And you have the implicit increased damage, which is a bit of damage gain. So we are looking to have this offhand. So we can weapon swap, and then Leap Slam. You can cancel the end animation with Leap Slam with Frostblink. So you can travel like quite a lot of stuff, like within really short amount of time. So during leveling, it is quite cool, and Leap Slam allows you to go between the obstacle compared to Shield Charge, when like Shield Charge is kind of a bit, and I prefer Leap Slam. Like both are good, but I'm used to play Leap Slam Frostblink, so I do like the setup. A wand, we will grab those Fire Wand. During the leveling, those will be available. You can have those on the vendor. You can find those on the floor in the ledge. So make sure you have 2 of those during the Act 1. And then Act 12, you put your weapon set. Your 2-1-hit weapon there. The link, you just need the Trilling. Basically, you just need this and you will be fine. On the Act 2, nothing changed that much in the Act 2. Of course, the tree change, and I'm gonna use the loadout there. It's gonna be basically, so you will travel over there. That is basically the traveling. After this, you wanna go for the fire wheel, and you go on top for a bit of more caster speed. And you grab this 100% increased damage with it, again, ignite enemy. And then after that, you go directly on Daily Overload, and after you can start grabbing a bit of life here and all the Dominion, chance to freeze, shock, and ignite, because we do need to ignite enemy to get the full potential of the mastery. This is one of the reasons we are going with a combustion, because you have chance to ignite, you get a bit more fire damage, and you also have some pen. That's really cool. So you have a bit of, and later on we will have even more chance to ignite, so that is quite cool. On Act 2, you have access to Bandit. What Bandit we're gonna grab? Bandit, there is actually 3 good ones. The passive point's good. The Alira is good because you have always mana regen. That is really cool. And there is also Kratin. Kratin is good because it gives movement speed, it gives 8% movement speed. Not sure which one I will grab, depending if I want to go in the zoomy thing. Because 8% movement speed for 1 passive point, that's kind of cool, right? So I think I will grab the 8% movement speed just to go a bit faster during the campaign and the ice part. So I will probably grab the 1 passive point, but it's up to you. If you used to play Alira, just choose Alira. If you don't care about the res, the movement speed, just grab the passive point. It's fine. It's not like the end of the world if you fucked up your bandit. You can swap bandit after. On the Herald thing, we are grabbing Herald of Thunder. You can buy another one. You can buy the Herald of Ice, but it do require some dex. I just think Herald of Thunder is good. I don't need any. I don't need more, to be honest. Also, Actor 1, you can use Clarity if you want, so it's not needed Clarity, but you can buy it if you want. In Actor 2, you can buy, there is 2 gems you can buy. You can buy Brand Recall and Wave of Conviction for later on. So in Actor 3, basically it's just the same thing until we are able to swap for Armageddon brand. This is where the business, where like we start to brand. And it feels good to start for Armor Brand because like Rolling Mama is good, but yeah, fuck Rolling Mama, we went Armor Brand. Armor Brand, I will keep Armor Brand until a really long time. I will explain a bit later. Armor Brand, really cool. We use it with the same link as before, Elemental Proliferation and Combustion. We do not need the Totem anymore. We do not need the Flame Wall anymore. You can drop those gems or keep gem for, you can keep those for the lab to change the gem if you want to. Still having Frost Blink, Arcane Surge. We have Leap Slam, Momentum, faster attack a bit later on. As an aura, I drop my 25% aura and I grab Anger because it's fairly decent amount of damage right there. And later on, I mean, just like a couple of minutes after, I do Library and I swap. But you can use any of those 3, Determination, Haste, Anger. Those are 3 50% armor that are pretty cool. We also grab Actor 3 Flammability. It gives chance to ignite, that's really cool, and more single target damage. Actor 3, you have access to the library. I do the library quest, so I can add to my Leap Slam faster attack, so to go even faster. I'm using Blood Rage, so I'm able to get even more attack speed, and I can get my Frenzy Charges to go even faster. And I grab Haste as Aura, because I do not be in the need of Anger for damage. Damage is fine with Armor Brand and Brand Recall. Because basically what we're going to do is just, we're going to cast Brand, run around, and whenever there is a tough mob, we cast the curses and Brand Recall, so we have like all of the proc at once. So it's kind of cool. So personally, I just go for Haste. On the passive tree, this is where we start picking up the Brand Node and the Brand Mastery. The Brand Keystone Brand Binder, we are going for, you can cast 2 additional brands, so it's gonna be 5 brand. And then after we go for this road, we grab some brand cultivation, cooldown on Brand Recall. That's really cool because it's a bit more single target because we're able to recast the brand every time. Cast another 2 brand. And the mastery we go Brand Recall. So Brand Recall have a short cooldown. You can even make it shorter, but it's already kind of cool. If on single target, it's like fairly decent amount of damage. After this Actor 3, Actor 4, nothing special. After getting my brand points, I go directly into Eldritch Battery because you will see mana issue is quite pain champ. So I directly go for Eldritch Battery because it solves a lot of my mana issue. If you find good ES gear during the leveling, you might be enough to sustain your ES. And you will not be in the need of any of your mana, so you can use another 50% aura. If you don't, and you still need a bit of mana because you don't have enough mana to regen to be able to sustain, it's fine. You just do 50% aura, and then the rest of your mana pool, you can use it with something like, I don't know, Herald, Vitality, Arctic Armor and stuff. But after that, we are going on the passive tree. We are going for more reservation, so we can finally use at 100% of the time, 250% aura, and we are going for haste and anger, because like it's a bit more damage. If you do feel you have enough damage and you miss a bit of tankiness, you can go for determination to get a bit more bit flat physical mitigation. I personally don't feel I need it. Like you leap slam around really fast, and you don't get it that often if you do pay attention during leveling. So it's just a matter of practice and how you like the playstyle. We do not add any gem. However, you can do a trailing setup. I've been mentioning this trailing setup. Where it is. It's Wave of Conviction, X-Touch Report, and oh, sorry, never mind. Active 4, pay attention, we buy Immolate. We do swap Elemental Proliferation for Immolate. It gives a lot of flat, gets ignited enemy. It costs 1 Alchemy Orb at level 30. You can grab it level 38 after doing, I can't remember the quest, but Immolate, big power spike for our build. There is also another additional link you can do. You can do Wave Conviction, X-Touch, and Flammability. It will give you like a 5% extra minus res on the mobs. It's not the big difference, but later on I personally use it in Heist. If I don't have the link, I didn't find my alchemy orb. It's whatever. I will use my alchemy to get Immolate and just X-Touch. It's like whatever. You just gain a bit of damage there, but it's not the end of the world if you do not have it. Worth mentioning, if you're struggling a lot with your mana, you do have some life mastery that say skill cost 50% of the mana cost instead. So this might be useful for you if you go for EB and you have low ES pool to sustain a bit more your mana. Like personally, I've been fine with. I think I had like 300 energy shield. I was pretty lucky. That was a practice setup there, but I had boots, gloves, and body. I think I had like 300 energy shield without my second lap done, and it went pretty fine. Active 5, do you have a granite? Do you have a granite flask? Nothing else here to mention, to be honest, in the Active 6. It's just a bit more passive point where you start picking up a bit of life node and this damage wheel here, which is really good. Active 7. Active 7, this is not the Act 7. There is something that I fucked up. Yup. Active 7 will looks like this. That is my bad. Act 7 will more look something like that. Yeah, sorry. So we start picking up a bit more life. And anyway, since we have EB and access to the second lab, we're able to grab Mind Over Matter. So lab choices. Here, it's worth mentioning lab choices. I personally go for Inquisitor. First lab is not mandatory. It gives Conground with your stationary, and Conground apply increased damage taken to enemy. That is good. Since basically we're standing near to the mob for brand recall, and we're standing, so the mob will be hit by the Conground. I mean, it will be on the Conground, so it will take increased damage. So it's still decent increased amount of damage, but it really shines when you have Pious Path, which give Conground stay for a second, and the life regen applied to your ES. This is where you solve everything with EB. You have pretty much infinite mana. Like I have no issue at all of permacasting my brand there. It's literally up all of the time. But it's worth mentioning, there is also a really good Ascendancy early on for brand, and this might be for you if you want to skip the ace part. it's the Hierophant. Hierophant have access to a lot of interesting stuff for brand, for armor brand, for penance, even later on. But you do have access to, for example, for the first lap, Arcane Blessings. So you gain Arcane Surge. You can still go for EB and you will have Arcane Surge up. So you can have a bit more caster speed, even if it does not really matter. Arcane Blessing gives 20% more spell damage, which is a huge damage increase. And you can skip this point over here and grab those instead, because it gives effect of Arcane Surge, which will scale then the 20% more damage. So that's the first good Ascendancy. Second one, you have access to a lot of good stuff there. I will personally go with Conviction of Power, because you get 4 minimum endurance charge, and that's a lot of defense. The 4 power charge, it's not that much, but the 4 endurance charge is pretty cool. An endurance charge give 4% elemental damage reduction and physical damage reduction, but that's 16% less elemental damage taken and physical damage taken. That is quite good. If you feel comfy enough about your defense, there is also a cool node you can go for. Sign of Purples, for example, it's a cool one. It gives 100% increased cooldown recovery rate on your brand recall, so more brand recall. So that is also a really cool one for the brand recall armor brand playstyle. You have access to also this one, which is not a bad one. You have the spell damage leech as life, which is really cool. So that's the sources of leech, which is kind of hard to get early on. Spell damage leech as life. And you have also 30% increased AoE when you have Arcane Surge. And AoE, it's actually kind of cool, because as you see the overlap there, but it's even bigger. Higher AoE you have, it's gonna make your clear even better. So there is really strong choices on Hierophant, and I do think if you skip the ace part and you want to go directly in maps, I do think the Hierophant will perform a bit better early without any gear on you. Just because you can have access to like this a lot of damage, this is a lot of defense, this is also a lot of damage there, and here you can have some utility, life leech and AoE is a really cool thing. So Hierophant, I would say it's up to you. Personally, I will go Inquisitor because I do like the Inquisitor, and later on it will perform better for the Penance brand. And I just freaking love this Ascendancy, right? It's just too good. Perma on ground, creating your elemental resistances. And talking about Penance, this node over there, Son of Purples, you can see it at like 25% more brand damage, but it's actually a bit more than this, because Penance brand of Dissipation get more and more damage higher the stack is. Whenever you get like 20 stacks, you get a lot of more damage, and you can't go higher than this, but you do have a bit of a ramp up time. And having this 100% more activation frequency in the last quarter of the brand, you will push way more at 20 stacks. So it's actually a really strong Ascendancy for Penance of Dissipation there. So Hierophant isn't bad at all. I will recommend Hierophant if you want to skip the ace part and you want to go blast a bit of map, because this will perform a bit better in maps without gear compared to the Inquisitor. Inquisitor have more utility and more endgame scanning, I would say. So we talk about this Ascendancy there that you can choose early on. So personally, whenever I'm in Act 6, you can start finding Rogue Marker. This is where Heist come into the play. I'm personally a big fan of Heist. It allows me to generate a lot of currency in a short amount of time, get the benefit of those low divine prices, low price item, because the chaos supply is not there that much. And usually if you're able to buy those few items early on, people look to sell their first good item for cheap because people do not have that much currency, so you can get the benefit of having a lot of chaos supply. So after you finish the part 1 in Act 6, you can start finding those markers. There is the cash as well, and there is really good contract you can do. And also in Heist, the really cool thing is you find a lot of jewelry, so it's perfect for doing the chaos recipe. So basically in Heist, what am I doing? Am I grabbing the... When I'm below level 60, I grab two type of contract. I grab lockpicking and demolition, because you can buy those contracts to the vendor for a chance orb. If you do not have any chance orb, you can transform your currency. You can sell your Jeweller's Orb to fusing, and then with your fusing, you can buy chance orb to the vendor in Act 6. So you're able to have a lot of chance orb. And by contract, if you run out of chance orb, this is where you start. Or you're buying too many contracts, yeah, you run out of currency, okay, you're to the point where, yeah, I might do one or two lockpicking contract to get a bit more currency, so I'm able to buy all of the contract during I'm leveling, because every time you level, the contract change. I mean, the vendor is reset, and you can check for those two type of contract. So below level 60, I buy those two type of contracts. If I run out of currency, I run my lockpicking. Whenever I'm level 60 plus, I'm buying, whenever the contract level is 60 plus, I do buy other contracts, Perception, Counter, and Deception. This is where two type of run. Actually, there is basically you buy all of the lockpicking, demolition during the leveling, and whenever you level doing those contracts. Or you can do the longer run where you buy Perception, Counter, and Deception, because those contracts are also really good. You have a Chaos reward in them, and you have some good jewelry reward. You have Gem. Gem isn't bad. It allows you to get your first GCP. You can even find gem that are popular that you can resell. Deception also really good. You have the stack that they sell pretty well early as well. But the first two king are lockpicking and demolition. Like the best one is literally demolition. This one drops so many cows. It's pretty crazy early how many cows you can drop. So there is a clip here of me doing just the lockpicking and demolition contract in a run start scenario there. So I was able to get 180 cows. I think this divine drop in... I think it dropped in Heist, but this is just a lucky drop by here. It's just to showcase how many currency you can get doing those type of contracts. So it's... You have a lot of currency there, like a lot of... You have many alch, many binding, you got some scoring, so you will be pretty comfy going on the Atlas progression. And there is like some good item that I found, some 5 links, some unique. There is many good card, essence and stuff, so there is a lot of currency you can find in early Heist. And doing this, once again, doing this Heist right after Act 7, it's kind of because people are still in the campaign and they start having those lucky drop, and you do have the currency to buy those lucky drop for cheap, so it's kind of cool to do this ace mod there. Talking about ace, there is something that for me it is really important, is the Bruche. There is a Bruche modifier. Bruche is 8th gear. You can drop the Bruche on level 60 plus contract. And there is a mod on the Bruche that say a chest have 8 to 9% chance to duplicate contain basic currency inside. So you can duplicate your cows drop, your fusing, your chance drop and stuff. So in my opinion, it's definitely worth using your alteration that you find early, in order to get those 8 to 9% chance to duplicate contain basic currency. It's really strong mod. I'm also talking here in the guide about the other good mod you can have. I'm talking about how to unlock Vindary, because Vindary, when it's leveled up to max, you can have 12% chance to dupe chest reward. And if you use it in demolition, where all of the reward are cows, using it with the Bruche plus the 12% chance to dupe currency, you go out of the contract with a lot of cows at the end. So I think I'm pretty good on the ace part. Also, ace part with low level contract allows you to find gear upgrade. This is basically how am I finding my ring with resistances, my neck with resistances, I mean my amulets. And yeah, you can find like decent gloves, decent belt and stuff. So this is how I'm finding my upgrade, and I have like decent gear enough to run Heist. And whenever I'm in Heist, I'm looking for some item upgrade, of course, because like the weapons start to fall off in damage. Higher you go in the level, you will see damage start to fall off quite a bit, but you can have like some decent damage upgrade on your weapon. On my weapon, later on, I go for an essence, fire to spell. On the same weapon that I'm using, I buy shaking, fire to spell. It probably cost me like a chaos or so. Even less. You could check the forgot the name. The one with the vendor you can buy with gold, the converter of currency. I forgot the name of it, but you see what I'm meaning. You can put a buy order to buy those shaking for cows. You will sell them. Your people will sell for sure. So I'm using shaking of essence on my weapon. I'm looking for an empty prefix so I can craft spell damage, and having this essence mod plus spell damage is going to be a 10% damage increase per weapon, so that's really cool. First few cows also, I'm looking for this elm. It give me freeze immunity. Since I'm using a fire skill, and it's freeze and chill immunity, that's really cool. And also a lot of flat armor. 5 link, if I do not find a 5 link, or I'm even looking for 1C 5 link that have, I'm using an armor and energy shield to get like a decent amount of armor, plus decent amount of ES. And I'm basically looking without any life modifier because it's way cheaper. You look for a bit of armor, energy shield, 1 res, you craft another res, and you use this 15% maximum life mastery if you have no life modifier on your equipped body armor. That's a great way to get a 5 link for cheap. It will cost you probably a chaos or less, because you don't really need the 5 link right at the beginning of Heist. And the price of 5 links start to fall off quite bad. So it will basically cost you 1 or 2 cows. As a 5 link, I'm personally going for fire penetration because this is a lot of damage. And on the link setup and stuff, it's still pretty much the same. Worth mentioning, I've changed a bit my my aura setup. I'm using, instead of anger, I'm going for determination because I like to have a bit of armor during Heist because there is a lot of physical hit, and sometimes those hit are kind of insane to dodge and stuff. So having decent armor, it's really useful to not die in Heist, so you don't lose armor, you do not lose your loot. Ace determination. Since we have weapon with high flat, we are using gen support that give flat. Anger aura start to fall off quite bad. I mean, I can show you, for example, an anger aura in this setup how much damage the thing gives, but it's gonna be not that crazy. It's like 10% damage for 50% aura. Nah. Okay, early on it's way more because we have low flat, but after, it's like I'd rather use determination. We're also using a vitality low level. As you can see, we're able to use something vitality like level 7, and we're also using Arctic Armor. It's a bit more flat fizz mitigation. If we get stunned and multiple hit, this can save you a bit. And also, at the beginning, we might do not have the helmets, and Arctic Armor allows us to not be freeze. A Blood Wave with automation. Automation Brain Recall, it will be up to you. I would say try it. If you don't like it, don't use it. If you're like me, I personally enjoy being able to cast whenever I want my Brain Recall. I'm used to cast it whenever I want and need. Because like automation can feel bad in some situation. The trailing setup I mentioned before, Wave Conviction, X-Touch, and Flammability. You don't have to go for that. If you use only Flammability, it's fine. It's not the end of the world, because as you see, if we use X-Touch there, it will give you less damage because X-Touch have a less curse effect. But if we use it with Wave of Conviction, we're able to apply Exposure, and it trade off the damage lost. We gain like 5% pen or something. And also, if we do so, and we go on the top here to get all of those good damage, look, those are pretty decent for damage. You can use the extra 5%. It's like 4% damage. 4% damage, one node, it's very good, but But yeah, so I think, and later on, a tree should like this. Level 75, we're going down on this wheel there. Here, this is like the minion stuff, but those minion are give you a lot of attack speed, so we can go for attack faster. Those nodes can be take early if you want to go a bit faster with your lip slam, but this is not mandatory. Maybe some people will like to go for Ascilium and Corrupted Blood there, because it's a good way to get Corrupted Blood. It costs 4 points, but you have a bit of Chaos Res, which is useful to not have like a really bad Chaos Res early, and a bit of Reduce Curse effect. So with the Reduce Curse effect and the Permac on ground, you remove curses, even if we don't have that much curses in Heist. But Corrupted Blood, it's really useful if you don't have the Flask. If you don't have the Flask, you don't have any Corrupted Blood thing anywhere, just go and grab this Mastery. It's really important. This brand node over there are just for confidence. This is just basically for brand range. Because like the crit, we do not need the crit. It's just an extra brand range here. It's like 30% plus 40% for the Mastery. We gain a lot of brand range, which make the brand playstyle a bit more comfy. So I think that will be basically it for the endgame ace part leveling, fixing your res by your jewelry. There is a modifier I like to have on belts I can mention is reduce flash charge use, so I have more use of my flask during the ace. It's kind of useful to press 3 times your Quicksilver. I put a silver flask there, but if you don't find any, just go for double Quicksilver. That's fine. Jade Flask can be the car reward if you want to afford it, but it's not needed. If you're struggling with your res, just cap your res with your amulet, along with a bit of life, that's fine. And with this setup, you should be pretty comfy to do ace relatively fast. Our movement speed is decent. We got like 100 plus, I mean, literally 100. And we are fairly tanky to in ice to do not die and just go fast. So that will be this for the leveling part. After this, what I'm gonna talk here, I can maybe mention Sanctum, right? A lot of people love Sanctum. Personally not a big fan of Sanctum. I'm sorry, there is anything in the guide regarding Sanctum. Because I'm not going in Sanctum, I can't give you advice in Sanctum. I have no idea how to do, I mean, I have idea to do Sanctum, it's not a problem, but early, the chase unique item, the thing that we need and stuff, I have like an idea because I've seen people doing it, but I'm not gonna recommend you anything, so you will have to look for someone else to recommend Penance in Sanctum. If there is some people that want to go a bit further and skip the ace part and I go further on the Arma brand, there is people that have done plenty of Arma brand guide. There is Jungground that have been doing a lot of video on Arma brand, so you can definitely check the YouTube channel of Jungground. I think he did 2-stone run if you want to look at it with Arma brand. And I think that's it for the leveling video, everyone. I hope this video has been useful. This guide will be useful as well for you, and I wish you good practice, right? And I will see you in the next video. Next video gonna be Penance brand swap, what item I'm looking for the swap, and the first few upgrade we can go for. So thank you everyone watching the video. Guide is in the description below, link to the filter, link to Discord, of course everything is in the description below, and I will give the video future link of the video that I will go in the future. So thank you very much everyone being there as always. Make sure to give a like, subscribe, stuff, you know the classic usual YouTube stuff. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye YouTube.